More injury updates for the Ducks coming out of Eugene Thursday morning. Bennett Williams, starting safety for Oregon, will also be out for the 2021 season as the injury bug just continues to hit the Ducks tremendously hard this season. Through 4 games, Williams' stats: 20 tackles, 16 solo, 1 tackle for loss, and 3 interceptions. That was good for second on the team behind only Verone McKinley, who had 4. For those that maybe don't know, Williams was not available for the Ducks this past weekend against Stanford in Palo Alto. Mario Cristobal said after the game that he suffered kind of a freak accident in a non-contact drill in Friday's practice before the Ducks hit the road to Palo Alto, and I guess so much so that he didn't make the trip with the Ducks. That was another piece of information that was passed along. And then Thursday today, telling reporters that Williams is going to be out for this year, and it complicates things at safety. Surely, when he was not available against Stanford, we saw Jamal Hill slide in as the starter. He had a career high 8 tackles, with 7 of them being solo tackles. So you certainly have a guy who's a proven contributor at a pretty high level, and Hill filling in for Williams there. You'll remember last year, Hill had his kind of coming out party, right, in that USC game, the Pac-12 championship game. 2 huge interceptions, the second of which was this bobbling, toe tap interception that was just phenomenal. When I really think Keaton Slovis was trying to throw that one away, but Hill is certainly a capable guy out there in the defensive secondary. He's also a solid tackler. He had some really good hits against Stanford when I was watching that game in Palo Alto. But let's run through some of the other names that the Ducks could see maybe getting more involved here. You have Steve Stevens, who has played quite a bit so far this season. He got some good reps when Hill was unavailable due to a suspension earlier in the season, as well as veteran Jordan Happel. He's a guy that people have really good things to say about. He since he's such a veteran guy, he obviously adapted really well to Andy Avalos' scheme last year. He had that big pick 6 against UCLA. That was a crazy game, and that veteran experience has allowed him to adjust even more so to Tim DeRuyter's defense, and we've seen him getting involved. Believe he had a fumble recovery in one of the earlier games this year. And then Damon David, he's another name to kind of watch out for here. We haven't seen much of him this season. He's gotten a little bit banged up, but Cristobal said on Thursday that he was borderline ready to go against Stanford, that the bye week has done him well so far, and that he should be full speed as the Cal matchup looms. And then another guy rather that we haven't seen much of so far this year is JJ Greenfield. He was kind of a special teams warrior, special teams hero last year, especially on kickoffs. That guy, forced some fumbles, throws his body around, is a really hard hitter. So he's maybe someone to keep an eye on. But in the last video we talked about CJ Verdell's injury and how the Ducks can maybe fill in there, and how Sean Dollars was a wild card. But I think with the safety situation, maybe a wild card isn't that much of a wild card. But Jeffrey Basa, a true freshman out of the 2021 recruiting class, he came in with more of a linebacker type body. I think he's around 6'2", 210, 215, that range. But he is, since the start of the season, he's since been moved to linebacker to help shore up the depth with injuries to Justin Flo and Drew Mathis. So he's still getting his feet wet there and kind of settling in, but maybe we see him move back to safety if the team needs him to. I think that, even with this injury, his need is more so probably at the linebacker spot right now. Like I said, with Hill being a pretty proven guy, even though he didn't really come on super strong until the end of last season. I think that, Hill is going to, hold things down there for them. Then you have veterans like Happel, and Steve Stevens is a guy who's looked pretty strong so far this season as well. But I think that Basa is a name to watch here, because after he made that move, I asked him, does the staff have a target weight for you? Where does that kind of whole situation stand? And he said, I think right now that they didn't tell me that they have, a certain target weight. So I guess that in that sense, it would kind of leave the door open for him to move back to safety if needed. But like I said, that's going to be linebacker is going to be his home for now. So this is just crazy news for the Ducks, because they just keep getting hit by injuries. You get that win at Ohio State rather, and all the possibilities are there. And then you look a little iffy against both Stony Brook and Arizona, and then Bennett Williams is one of those guys that ultimately helped you close the door on Arizona with that second interception, which ended up being a pick six. And Williams is a guy that I was, calling for more snaps for all of last season. He's showing right now why he should have been playing more last year. And even when Hill was back with the team this season, Williams had held down that starting spot for a couple games. Obviously now he's out for the year, but man, you hate to see that, especially on a non-contact injury like that. Just brutal news for Oregon. Mario Cristobal saying after the Stanford game that he's never really experienced a season like this where he's had this many injuries. But he's not making excuses. You got to keep moving forward. You got to, see who the next guy is that's going to be available, get him coached up, get him ready to go. And then when the ball snaps, you just got to send out your best 11 that you have at that point. So it's going to be interesting to see how this kind of shakes out. Maybe it forces some of the younger guys to, mature a little bit faster. And I think that could ultimately, down the road end up paying dividends for the Ducks, but it's a tough situation now. Before we wrap this one up, just want to ask that you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Only takes 2 seconds out of your day, and it really helps me grow the channel, helps me keep doing my thing, covering the Ducks. Follow me on Twitter at mtorsports, and you see that message on the screen. Check out our new free message boards, Ducks Digest forums. Let's talk some Ducks. Want to make sure I'm engaging with the audience and kind of seeing what stories you guys want to be told, what kind of content you want to see more of, either on the YouTube channel here, on the podcast. Going to get that going again pretty shortly, or obviously on the site at ducksdigest.com. So just give us a subscribe on the channel, and we'll make sure to keep the Ducks content flowing, and we'll